All right, welcome to another on-base baseball video. My name is Brian Hafferkamp, and I am going to be continuing my 2022 Braves instant replay. So in this series, I'm replaying the first game of each actual series played by the Braves in the 2022 season, and I'm using updated roster sheets. So if you're familiar with the decade roster sheets, very similar, but I'm updating them for the day that the game is played. So basically, this is updated through May 1st for the game on May 2nd. So the end of, through May 1st. So it's as if they're about to play the game that was actually played last night on May 2nd. This is being recorded on May 3rd. So this game is fresh off being played. In the actual game, the game was 5-2, I believe, 5-1, 5-2. The Braves won in New York. So this is going to be the Braves at the Mets, May 5th, 2022. This is game number 24 on the season, not game number 24 in the replay. For the Braves, it's going to be Acuna in right, Olson batting second at first base, Riley hitting third, Ozuna, the DH, cleaning up, Albies at second, Travis d'Arnaud catching, Adam Duvall in center, Travis Demeritte will be playing left in this game, and then Dansby Swanson pulling up the rear, playing shortstop. On the mound for the Braves is Max Fried, the all-star left-hander. For the Mets, it's going to be Nimmo in center, Mark Canha in left field, Lindor at short, Alonso at first. Eduardo Escobar is the DH. He's hitting fifth. J.D. Davis at third. Starling Marte in right. Jeff McNeil at second. And James McCann, the catcher. On the mound is Chris Bassett, the right-hander, pitching very well for the Mets. He has a 307 Sierra. He can go 23 batters. Fried with a 263 Sierra has been heating up as of late. He went 6 innings last night and seemed to get stronger as the game went on. Let's see how this game plays out. This is Atlanta at New York. This is their first meeting of the season. New York way out in front in the division and playing very good baseball so far, even without DeGrom. We're using our just regular game engine chart, and this is the same chart that we've been using for every replay, so we'll just stick with it just to get consistent results. As you can see, no one is hitting out of any column other than the third column for the batters. For the pitchers, both will be pitching out of this column, the first column here, until they reach their stamina. All right, so this is on-base baseball. We have our roller ready, and first inning, it's going to be Acuna, Olson, and Riley, top of the order against Chris Bassett. There's a 3-5, a 3-5 to -1 is a strikeout. So Bassett starts the game off with a strikeout of Acuna, gets him looking, and that's going to be out number 1. It's Matt Olson to the plate. 2-4, 2-4 to Olson is also going to be a strikeout. So 2 in a row for Bassett, back-to-back Ks, and a 1-3 to Riley is going to be a ground out to the second baseman. So 1-2-3 go the Braves in the top of the first, and we go to the bottom of the first inning. Fried will be facing off against Nimmo, Canha, and Francisco Lindor. There's a 1-6, so 1-6 to Nimmo is going to be a fly ball to right center field. Acuna's got an eye on it, and he tracks it down for out number 1. Brings up Mark Canha. He had a home run in the real game. We'll see how he does in this ball game. A 2-3 to a 3 is going to be a ground out with an error check. So that's right back to the pitcher. And maybe an error. Let me check on Fried. He is a Gold Glover. I can't imagine that he is a minus, but let me just double check here. Got my roster sheets over here to the side. Atlanta. Freed is a 0, so he's going to make that play. Anything 1 or 2, there's an opportunity for an error. But if it's a 2, the only people who will make an error are the ones with minuses by their names. Otherwise, a 1 is an error for everybody. Okay, so he makes the play, goes 1 to 3 over to first, and Canna is out for out number 2. Francisco Lindor stands in. He's got a 6 batting run, so playing well. There's a 3-6 to a 6. A 3-6 to a 6 is going to be a fly out, and that's going to be a fly ball to straightaway right field. Fairly deep, but Acuna is there, and he backpedals and makes the play. And so that's going to be out number 3. Top of the second inning, no score, and it's going to be Bassett against Ozuna, Albies, and Travis d'Arnaud. A 4-6 to Ozuna is going to be a strikeout. So strikeout number 3 for Chris Bassett. There's a 1-5 to Albies. 1-5 to Albies. And he hits a solid single the other way down the line. So that's going to be a base knock for Ozzy Albies. And he's at first base with 1 out. There's a 2-5 to d'Arnaud. 2-5 is going to be a fly out with an error check. So this is a fly ball to the left center field gap. And the left fielder is Canna. He makes the play on the run. So we'll call that F7 on the out. And it's going to be 2 down with a runner at first base and Adam Duvall to the plate. 2-2 is nothing here to a -4 is going to be a double or a triple if it's an 8. On the D9, it's a 4, so that's going to be a double. So 2 bases for Duvall. And we're not going to try to score Albies here. Let's let Travis Demeritte hit. There's a 2-4 to a 4. That's going to be a strikeout. So played for the big inning there. And came back to bottom. If we were sending Albies home, it would have been a 1-3 safe. 4-9 out. Not exactly great odds there. So no runs on 2 hits and 2 left on for the Braves as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Still tied at 0. For the Mets, it's going to be Pete Alonso, Eduardo Escobar, and J.D. Davis against the lefty Max Fried. Here's a 2-5 from Fried. 2-5 to a 2 is going to be a fly out with an error check. So it's a fly ball to center field. And Duvall is able to make the play. So 1 down and brings up Escobar, the DH. Here's a 4-5 to a 4. 4-5 is also going to be a fly out. That's down the left field line. And Demeritte comes in hard to the line and makes the play. And J.D. Davis to the plate. Same thing. There's a fly out. Straightaway left field this time. Demeritte still catching his breath, is able to make the play, and that's 3 up, 3 down. Go the Mets in the bottom of the second inning. So no scores. We head to the top of the third. Be Swanson, who is the number 9 hitter. Then back to Acuna and Olsen at the top. There's a 1-4. 1-4 to Swanson. It's going to be a hit by pitch or a walk. It's a 2 or greater, so that's going to be a walk. So Dansby Swanson on. And let's go ahead and try to steal with him. He's a 7, so anything 1 to 7 is going to be safe. Anything 8 or 9 on the D9 roll is going to be out. And he is safe into second base with the stolen base. And that's going to bring up Ronald Acuna Jr., who struck out in his first at bat. But now a runner at second base with no one out for the Braves. Here's a 2-3 to a 5. 2-3 is going to be a ground out with an error check. So that's back to the pitcher. No error on the play. Pitcher's going to go to first. Actually, he looked the runner back at second base. Made sure he didn't go. So he goes 1-3 on the putout. And that'll be out number 1. Runner stays at second base. Here's a 2-5 to Olsen. Olsen is a 5. So that's going to be a fly out with an error check. So it's fly ball to right center field. And no error on the play. So we'll go F9 on the put out, and that's number 2. No need to try to get the runner to third base. Let's see if Riley can drive him in. There's a 2-5. It's another fly ball with an error check. This time it's to the center fielder, and Nemo makes the play. So that's going to be the third out of the inning. So Bassett walks the first batter. The Braves get him to second base, and then Bassett shuts him down in the inning. So we go to the bottom of the third, still tied at 0. Good pitching matchup so far. And Fried will be facing the bottom of the order. It's Marte, McNeil, and James McCann. There's a 4-6. A 4-6 to a -1 is going to be a strikeout. So out number 1 in the inning. Jeff McNeil up to the plate. There's a 1-4. A 1-4 to McNeil is going to be a hit by pitch or a walk. This is a 4, so that's going to be a walk, as Fried issues his first walk of the day. McNeil is a 6. Let's go ahead and try to steal with him. 1 to 6 is going to be safe. 7, 8, or 9 is going to be out. And he slides in safely. That's going to be a stolen base for Jeff McNeil. So runner at second base now with 1 out, and James McCann, the catcher, to the plate. Here's a 3-5, and a 3-5 to a -2 is going to be a strikeout. So Fried, with his second strikeout of the day, gets McCann swinging, and that'll be out number 2. So runner at second base now with Nemo coming up to the plate, back to the top of the order. He flied out to the right fielder, his last at bat, and 2 down with 1 on. It's a 2-6. A 2-6 off of a pitcher in the first column is going to be a strikeout. And so back-to-back Ks in that inning for Max Fried as he strikes out the side and squeezes in a walk in between, but New York can't bring him home. So it's still tied at 0 as we go to the top of the 4th. Excuse me. And then the top of the 4th is going to be Ozuna Albies and Travis d'Arnaud against Chris Bassett, the right-hander for the Mets. There's a 2-5. 2-5 to a 1 is going to be a fly out with an error check. So it's a fly ball to center field. Nemo is up to it, and he makes the play. So that's going to be out number 1. Ozzy Albies now. There's a 5-6 to Albies, and that's going to be a strikeout off of the pitcher. And so it's going to be a strikeout looking as Bassett gets him with a fastball in the corner and brings up Travis d'Arnaud. d'Arnaud flied out to the left fielder his last time up. It's a 1-3, and a 1-3 is going to be a ground out to the second baseman. So 3 up, 3 down for the Braves in the top of the 4th, and they are still tied with the Mets as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Top of the order for the Mets, Canna, Lindor, and Pete Alonso. There's a 3-6. 3-6 from Fried to Mark Canna is going to be a fly out. That's a fly ball to right center field, and the right fielder, Acuna Jr., makes the play. There's a 2-4 to Lindor, and that's going to be a strikeout. So strikeout looking as Fried freezes him with the fastball at the bottom of the zone, and it's going to be Pete Alonso to the plates. He flied out to center his last at bat. There's a 1-5 to the polar bear, and he smokes a solid single right up the middle, and he'll be at first base with 2 outs. Eduardo Escobar, the DH, he flied out to left his first at bat. That's a 1-2. That's going to be a ground out. So it's going to be a ground out with a runner advance, but with 2 bases. Doesn't matter. So Albies gets to it and makes the play over to Olsen for out number 3. And no runs on 1 hit. First hit of the ball game, I believe. That's the first hit of the game surrendered by Max Fried in his first 4 innings. So no runs on 1 hit and 1 left on for the Mets. Go to the top of the 5th inning, still tied at 0. Looking for somebody to break through. Will it be the bottom of the order? Bassett will be facing off against Duvall, Demerit, and Dansby Swanson. There's a 2-4 to Duvall. 2-4 to Duvall is going to be a double play or a strikeout. So that'll be a strikeout swinging for Adam Duvall as he can't catch up to the fastball. There's a 2-6. 2-6 is going to be a strikeout off of the pitcher card, or the pitcher side. And Demerit strikes out for the second time in this game and brings up Dansby Swanson with 2 outs and nobody on. Here's a 6-6. 6-6 to Swanson. It's going to be a long single. And a long single, he has got a 7 speed, so that means that's going to be a hustle double for him. So he shoots it into the gap, and the outfielder to the right center field gap. Outfielders can't get to it in time, and Marte from the warning track can't throw him out. As Dansby slides in safely, he's 1 for 1 with a double and a walk. And let's see if Acuna can come through here. Here's a 3-4. A 3-4 to Acuna is going to be a double. So he laces one down the right field line. So back-to-back doubles is going to get the first run in for the Braves as they take a 1-0 lead over the Mets. So Acuna with the big RBI double with 2 outs and brings up Matty Olson. Here's a 2-5 to Olson. And a 2-5 is going to be a fly out to dead right field. And Marte can't keep a handle on it. And so that's going to be an E9 on Starling Marte. That's going to allow the runner to go to third. On the errors, he comes in and he can't make the play. Not going to tell him to score on that one, or have him score on that one, even though he probably would have. He most likely would have scored on that. Okay, Riley up, 2 on, 2 out. There's a 2-5, and 2-5 to a 7 is going to be a fly ball with an error check. This is going to be to center field this time, and another error. So back-to-back errors on the center fielder and the right fielder. That'll bring in a run, and it's 2-0 Braves. And there's a runner at first and second now with 2 outs, and it'll be Ozuna up. Ozuna laces a long single. Ozuna himself doesn't have much speed, but Riley's going to go first to third on the base hit, and coming in to score on the long single to left center field is Matt Olson. So 3-0 now, Atlanta in the top of the 5th inning. And 2 outs still with Ozzy Albies coming to the plate. Here's a 4-5. A 4-5 to Albies is going to be a fly out to right field. And this time, Marte makes the play, and that's going to be 3 outs in the inning as he squeezes it. So 3 runs on 2 hits for the Braves, and they leave 2 runners on base. So tough inning for Bassett there. So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. He is at his limit, and he could come out for 1 more inning here. We'll see if the Mets get him back in the game as to what we'll do there. So Fried is out there. He's got a 1-hitter going. He'll be facing Davis, Marte, and McNeil in the bottom of the 5th. There's a 2-2. This is going to be a knock, and that will be a double or a triple if it's an 8. The D9 is a 4, so that's going to be a double. Off the bat of J.D. Davis, he rips one to center field and one hops the wall. So second base, runner at second now with Starling Marte coming to the plate. There's 2-5, 2-5 to Marte. It's going to be a fly out to right field with an error check. No error on Acuna as he squeezes it for the out, and that's going to be out number 1. Not running on Acuna with only a speed of 4. Here's a 3-6 and a 3-6 to McNeil. It's going to be another fly out, this time to dead center field. So 2 down now in the inning as Duvall makes the play. Runner stays at second base. It's going to be J.D. Davis at second. James McCann catching. And he's struck out in his last at bat. This time he's going to ground out. And that's going to be a grounder to Swanson at short, who makes the pick over to first, gets him by 2 steps. And that's the end of the inning for the Mets. So 3-0 still the Braves as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Bassett is at his limit, but he hasn't passed it yet. So we'll let him go 1 more inning and see if he gets into any trouble here. So it's going to be d'Arnaud, Duvall, and Demerit against Bassett. Darno, not much luck today. A fly ball to left, grounder to second, and here he hits a solid single right up the middle. So that's going to be a base knock over the second baseman. And runner at first with nobody out, and it's Duvall, a 5-5 to Duvall. That's going to be a line out or a foul out. If it's a 6, the D9 is a 6. So that's going to be a foul out. So definitely no runner advancement there as Duvall pops out. Here's another 6-6 to Demerit. So that's going to be a long single. And what that does is Demerit himself is going to stay at first, but all base runners get an extra base on a long single. So that's going to go, Darnell is going to go first to third on that rip to left field. And runners at the corners now with Dansby Swanson to the plate. Swanson has had a good game so far. There's a 1-6, and a 1-6 is going to be a fly out, but not just a fly out with a runner advancement. So the runner is going to score from third on this fly ball to center field. So we're going to call that a sac fly for out number 2, number 1. So he scores on a sacrifice fly. Runner to second on the F8, so a deep fly ball that the center fielder Nimmo runs back and makes a great play on, and Demerit is able to tag up as well and get to second base on the sacrifice fly. Brings up Ronald Acuna, 2 outs and a runner at second base. Here's a 3-6. 3-6 to Acuna is going to be a fly ball. 2 straightaway right field. Marte looks up and puts it away. And that's going to be out number 3 in the inning. But the Braves do get one on the sac fly from Dansby Swanson. Give him the RBI there. And it's going to be Bassett has passed his limit now. And Fried is going to be leading off against the top of the order, be Nimmo, Canna, and Lindor. This is his 3rd time through the order. We'll see how he does here. He is only at 18 batters. He can go 24 before we have to do anything with him. And he starts off Nimmo with a strikeout. So strikeout comes off of his side, and he gets Nimmo swinging at the big hook. So that's going to be out number 1. Back-to-back Ks for Nimmo in the game. There's a 4-5. 4-5 is going to be a single to Mark Canna. Nope, a fly out. I'm sorry. So fly ball to center field. 2 down in the inning now. And a 3-4. 3-4 is going to be trouble from Lindor. And that's going to be a big double to the right center field gap. And it splits the center and right fielders. Lindor trots into second base, and he's standing at the second base bag with 2 outs and the polar bear Pete Alonso up. There's a 1-5, 1-5 to Alonso. That's going to be a knock. And a base hit for Alonso. That's his 2nd straight hit in the ball game. And now we got runners at first and third with Eduardo Escobar to the plate. 4-5 to Escobar. He flies out, skies it to center field. No problem for the center fielder Duvall. And Fried gets out of that jam, giving up no runs. So he's got a shutout going, a 3-hit shutout so far. 4-hit shutout going into the top of the 7th inning. So top of the 7th, top of the 7th. Let's go ahead and bring in a new pitcher for the Mets. Bassett has reached his limit. He's still pitching out of a good column there, but no need necessarily to leave him out there with down 4-0. Let me find a new pitcher. Okay, the new pitcher for the Mets is going to be Seth Lugo, longtime Mets reliever, and he has a 328 Sierra. He can go 4 batters, so 1 inning kind of guy. He'll be facing off against Olson, Riley, and Ozuna, so heart of the order for the Braves. And let's get a roller back here. All right, this is Lugo against Matt Olson. Olson reached on an error his last at bat and then scored on the single from Ozuna. Should give him an RBI there. So 1, 2, 3. Should be another RBI somewhere. Yeah, I missed one. On the sec fly. Oh, no RBI for the error. Scored on an error here. So three RBIs on the day. So 4-6 to Matt Olson is going to be a double play or a strikeout. That's a strikeout. Looking for Lugo. Out number 1 in the inning. Austin Riley stands in. Riley is crushing the ball this year. But in this game, he's 0 for 3. There's a 5-5. That's going to be an 0 for 4. So because the D9 is a 6 or greater, it's going to be a foul out. So he pops it up to the first baseman, and the first baseman makes the play. There's a 3-6 to Ozuna. Oh, I didn't say, but Lugo is pitching out of this column with the 3-2-8, so he's in the first column. Ozuna, 3-6 to Ozuna is going to be a fly ball down the left field line, and the left fielder Canna sprinting to the line makes the play, and that's going to be out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down for the Braves in the top of the 7th. They still lead 4-0 over the Mets as we head to the bottom of the 7th, and let's see if the Mets can get up off the mat. So there's 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, and Fried is still rolling. He'll be facing the bottom of the order, J.D. Davis, Marte, and Jeff McNeil. So there's a 3-6 to Davis. That's going to be a fly ball to right center field that Acuna makes a play on. And that'll be out number 1. There's a 2-5, which would be, I believe, a fly ball with an error check. So it's a fly ball to left center. So that's going to be a check on Travis Demerit, who's a plus fielder. Doesn't matter. He makes the play in left center. So out number 2, 2 flyouts for Fried here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And he closes out the 7th with a strikeout swinging of McNeil. So fastball, beautifully placed, down and away. McNeil has no chance. And that's going to be 3 up, 3 down for the Mets. So we head to the top of the 8th inning. We're going to replace the Mets pitcher again. So I think we'll go with Ottavino. I believe he's a right-hander. And he is a 2-6-6. Can go 5 batters. So let's see how things go here. So Bassett goes 6 and 1. Fried is still rocking it, although he's going to have to drop down a column if we send him out there. But we got Ottavino facing off against Albies, Darno, and Duvall. There's a 1-4. 1-4 from Ottavino to Albies is going to be a walk. So man on first. Travis Darno to the plate. He singled his last at bat. Here's a 3-5 to Darno. 3-5 is going to be a strikeout this time as Ottavino gets him swinging. And that's going to be out number 1. So 1 out, runner at first base, and Adam Duvall to the plate. Here's a 5-6. 5-6 can be a K, and he gets Duvall looking for out number 2. Back-to-back strikeouts for Ottavino. And then here is a 4-6. A 4-6 is going to be back-to-back-to-back strikeouts. So runner gets on first base, Ozzy Albies. But the Braves can't move him over as Ottavino strikes out the side after that. So no runs on no hits, 1 left on for the Braves in the 8th. And we are headed to the bottom of the 8th inning. Maxwell Fried pitching very well. And he's going to keep going. He's facing off against McCann, Nemo, and Canna in this game. So let's see how he does pitching out of column number 2. He has reached his limit officially. There's a 3-5. 3-5 to McCann. 3-5 is going to be a strikeout. And that's going to be a strikeout swing. So he throws that big lollipop curveball in there. And McCann can't catch up to it. He swings over the top for a strikeout. Brings up Nimmo. Nimmo has struck out his last 2 at-bats. Here's a 2-2, and a 2-2 is going to be a double off of the pitcher's column. So Nimmo gets things started. 1 out. He's at second base, and Mark Canna to the plate. There's a 5-6. We miss on the strikeout here, but we catch it on that side, and so it's going to be a strikeout looking for Fried, as that's the second out of the inning. So still a runner at second base, and it's be Lindor up to the plate. He doubled his last at bat. Here's a 3-5. 3-5 is going to be yet another strikeout looking, and Fried is looking strong in this one as he strikes out the side in the inning, but he squeezes in a double in between. But the Mets strand him at second base, and it's going to be 4-0 Braves as we head to the top of the 9th inning. And let's let Ottavino sort of finish this one out. So he had a strong 8th inning, and he can go 5. He's only gone 4 so far, so let him get out there in the inning. It's going to be Swanson, Acuna, and Olson. 1-2 to Swanson is going to be a ground ball to Lindor, and that'll be out number 1. For Acuna against Adam Ottavino, a 1-6 is going to be a fly out. That's a fly ball to center field. Can of corn for Nimmo as he puts it away, and that's out number 2. And Matty Olson to the plate. Olson is 0 for 4 and now 0 for 5. So that's going to be another fly ball to Nimmo, and the third out of the inning as he makes the running grab, and that's going to be all she wrote for the Braves. So no runs on no hits and nobody left on in the top of the 9th. We head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Max Fried going for the shutout against the Mets. This game was played on May 2nd, 2022. Good job pitching by Adam Ottavino. Good pitching all around for both clubs, though Bassett had a little bit of a rough spot in there in the 6th inning or 5th inning. Fried will be facing off against Pete Alonso, Eduardo Escobar, and J.D. Davis. Alonso 2 for 3 on the day with 2 singles. And here is Fried's pitch. That's a 4-6. 4-6 is going to be a strikeout. So chalk up another strikeout for Fried. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Ks now in the game. And he'll be facing Escobar. Escobar's 0 for 3. And we'll make that an 0 for 4 as he grounds out right back to the pitcher. Fried underhands it to Olson at first for out number 2. And Fried is 1 out away from a shutout win. J.D. Davis 1 for 2 on the day with a double. There's a 2-5. A 2-5 is going to be a flyout to right center field with an error check on Acuna. Acuna here is a minus defender so far in the young season, but it doesn't matter as he gets into the gap and he runs and makes the play for the third out of the inning. That will be it for the Mets. And the Braves won this one 4-0 with a shutout win on the road against the New York Mets. So a big win for the Braves. They won the real game 5-2. They get a little bit of offense here in the 6th inning with a couple of doubles, a single from Ozuna, who knocks in Olson. There were 2 errors on the play, and the rest of the game shut down. But Max Fried, definitely the star of the game, as he shuts down completely this New York Mets offense that was really rolling. We got 1 here, 9 innings here. He'll get the win, and Bassett's going to take the loss. So let me go back and figure up the totals, and I'll have those just a second. Okay, and we're back with the totals. Line score for Atlanta, 4 runs on 7 hits, no errors. For the Mets, it's going to be no runs on 5 hits, 2 errors for the Mets. In fact, back-to-back errors in the 6th inning. Max Fried, player of the game, 9 innings, 5 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 10 strikeouts. So excellent start for him. Also a good start for Bassett, even though he takes the loss. 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk and 7 Ks. Lugo and Ottavino come in and throw shutouts for the last 2 innings of the ball game. Oh, I'm sorry, last 3 innings. Ottavino went 2 innings in the ball game. For the Braves, I mean, for either team, not a whole lot of offense going on. The runs were mostly scored. Mostly scored with the errors, or because of the errors. But Albie's 1 for 5 with the double, and he had an RBI. Dansby Swanson also with a double, and he had an RBI on a sac fly. So for the Mets, you can see not a whole lot going on. Only 5 hits in the game. 2 of those came from Pete Alonso, a couple singles, and Davis also with a double, as well as Brandon Nimmo. So not a lot to write home about for the Mets in this game, as they falter at home against the Braves in this first game of the set. Again, this is our 2022 Atlanta Braves instant replay. This is using the updated 2022 roster sheets. So if you are not familiar with the new roster sheet setup, we have actually several classic roster sheets, the 1950s through the 1990s. So each decade, you'll get 10 seasons from, let's say, 1950 to 1959, 1960 to 1969, etc. And in those 10 seasons, you get every single player who has played. They're all of their values are calculated to be able to use with on-base baseball. And if you use it with the on-base scorecard, it makes it super simple to just use the roster sheet to fill out your scorecard. And if you love as-played replays, it's perfect, because every single pitcher, every single player who got into a game, whether they took an at-bat, whether they completed an inning, doesn't matter. If they got into a game, they are in on the roster sheet. And that's for each season over 10 seasons. And so $2 a season gets you as much baseball as you can want to play. So if you love a particular era, then that is great for you. And I also have contextualized the game engine charts that we were using before. I've contextualized that for every decade. So there's one for the 50s, one the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and I'm working on the 2000s right now. The goal and the hope is by the end of this MLB season to have the entire history of baseball available through the roster sheets. That way you can mix and match eras. You can play different teams against one another. Because we're using sabermetric stats like batting runs, we are able to, a 5 batting runs in this era is just like a 5 batting runs in 1942. And so you're actually able to sort of level the playing field for players all across history. Same goes for using FIP or Sierra for pitchers. It is cross era and cross league. It takes into account ballpark effects, many different things. So this is actually the perfect game for playing any sort of what ifs or as played replays or tournaments across the history of baseball. So that's sort of the roadmap ahead for the decade roster sheets. And if you have any questions about the game, if you have any questions about this particular game or any comments, please leave them down in the comment section below. I will get back to them as quickly as I can. If you're enjoying the channel, please click subscribe. And if you click the bell notification, or the bell icon, you'll get notifications of when new videos are posted. So you won't have to be wondering if I'm posting new content. It'll be sent right to you that something new has gone up. And I've been trying to do several videos a week just to test out games and to show you how the decade roster sheets work and some other things. So look through the channel. There's quite a bit of content now. Some of it is tutorials. Some of it is showing new things. Some of it is just playing on base or on base advanced or quick play, some of the games that I've created. There's a new game called Yaya Baseball, which is based on Yahtzee rolls. So if you're interested in that, you can contact me and I'll send you a version 2 of the game that you can test out. Let me know your thoughts on it. I also have a new page at onbasebaseball.com, which is where you can get any of the on-base baseball games, of which there are several at this point, including the decade roster sheets. If you go to onbasebaseball.com/free, you can find a bunch of free resources and downloads that you can use. In fact, I've made all of the contextualized game engine charts, the decade game engine charts, available at this point for free download. So if you have on-base baseball already, you can put those players into whatever era that I have available. So if you want to play modern players in a 1950s environment, you can do that with the 1950s game engine chart that you can download for free. I also have a new resource called a game simulation chart. And what it does is it allows you to sim any games that you don't want to play in your replay. You can sim those games with just 2 D10 dice, and it's based off of Bill James's research using his log5 method to figure out win probabilities between teams just using their winning percentages from the previous year. So if you're doing a replay and you have obviously the winning percentages of all the teams, then you can use those winning percentages to figure out sort of a chart matrix. So you have a home team and the away team, and you meet them, and the number where they meet on the chart at the X and Y axis is going to be the number that you use to roll to figure out which team wins the game. And I'm doing a little test replay of the 2021 season, just rolling all of the games through the season to see how accurate the statistics are, how accurate the game is with that, and just rolling 2d10 dice and figuring out who the winners are and keeping the standings. So that should be an interesting long-term project to see how that turns out in the end, and how close it is to the actual standings for the year. So my little test of that particular chart, but it's a handy little resource if you want to sim games. So if you're accustomed to simming games that you don't play on the computer game, or if you're on a console game and you're only wanting to play your team's game, it's sort of a similar concept. You can sim those other games and kind of speed up your season a little. I think that's it for here. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for your support of On Base Baseball. I really appreciate it. I hope that this content is helpful and good, and that the games provide a little bit of joy throughout your day or your week. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.